So this is the warm-up project for my Udemy courses. So for this warm-up project, or the first project we'll be doing in during the course of the courses, it's basically a note-taking application. Yeah, it allows you to take notes, period. It's nothing really too complex, yeah. So it allows you to take note, you take note, you save your note, you're able to edit your note. You can equally delete your note. So it performs 3 functions. Let me get a note. It performs 3 functions. So what can you do with this application? You can create a note. You can create a note. You can edit a note. And what else? You can delete a note. So these are the 3 core functions you can perform with this application. So to start off with, once you launch the application, you're going to have, this is an empty application without any note. So what it allows you, as you can see, you don't have any note yet. So it's instructing you to click on the button below to create a note. So you don't have any note yet. So once you click on the button, it brings up this form. This allows you to create your note, create a new note. So you have the subject button. So you have the note. So this is where you type in the subject of the note, and this is the body of the note. So let's try creating some notes. We have this, I have this note sample. It's from, so it's just something, just some placeholder notes, just to show you how this works. I save. So once you save, it brings you to the note list. As you can see, you have notes. Let's try adding some additional notes and see. New notes. So I'm adding history and purpose and usage. It's from what these notes are from. They are all placeholder notes. They are not really save notes. It's saving all the notes. So let's try and just see if we can add as many notes as possible. It's a simple application that will allow you, as you are adding it. This is the last one you've added. This is the first one you've added. Let's add one more note to this should be the last one. This will allow us to perform other operations. So we've added this. So yeah, this is basically these are all our notes, you know. So we can edit our note. Let's say I want to edit this last one. What can we do? If I edit this last one, I can if I create edit. No, let's go back to the list. So if I click on this, it will bring this is basically, okay, let's try this first. So if I click on this interpreting nonsense, so this is basically the note detail. This brings you to the note detail. As you can see, this is your subject. This is the date it was created on, the created date. This is the day it was last modified on this. So this is basically your note. So from here you can go back to the list, or you can edit the note, or you can delete the note. So let's try editing the note. This is basically here. So from here we can edit the note. Let's say we want to add more word. Let's say we want to add more paragraph. This will allow me edit the notes. I've added additional paragraphs. So once I've added this paragraph, I will just save the notes. You see, you just save the note, and this is basically what you have. So what else can I do? If I go back to the note, I will see that the note has been saved properly. So what else can I do? I can also delete the note. Let's say I don't really understand what is all this. It's not really clear. I can delete this note. So once you delete this note, you can see the note count has reduced. So this is basically the application we'll be creating for. It's a warm-up. It's a warm-up. It's not really the main application we'll be creating, but this is basically a warm-up application. This is the application that we use while to introduce those particular frameworks and languages. So let's say I want to create another note, but I didn't have anything. I just tried to save an empty note. What happens if I try to save an empty note? It will bring up an error that please enter your subject, enter the subject of the note. So at least I've made it in such a way that you don't save an empty note without a subject. At the very least, it should have a subject, even if you don't have the note ready, but at least it should have a subject. So that is part of the business requirement. So if I now add this note header and then save, it will save properly. If I go back, I don't have any body for that. I can now decide to now add the body. So this is basically the application, our warm-up application that we'll be building. So this will take us this kind of like it's a nice application. It's something you can always use to, I try to make these things as professional as possible. You can also create note by visiting here. It should get you to this point. Once you cancel, it brings you to this area. So this is basically, it's called Notely. So you can actually start thinking of using it to build a startup, You start thinking of trying to build a startup, but this is basically the application. It allows you to perform basic stuff, edit the notes, back and delete the note. So it's a nice application that you can use. And for me, the idea is if you build this particular application, this warm-up application and the main application, you should be able, if you follow through if you buy the course and follow through this process of building this application and the other application that I'll be building, the main application will be a large-scale application. You can add those two applications to your CV and start looking for work as a software developer anywhere in the world. That is basically how it works. These as you can see, it's a very nice and it's a very professional application. So I did it in such a way that it's something that you can start using. You can do it, get the code and to your GitHub account, get the link to your CV and start looking for job. So yeah, that is basically the summary of the app. Thank you very much. Bye.